This is when Quando, Rondo, and Youngboy began exchanging words online with King Von. And for those who don't know, this guy was known as Chicago's most feared man. So the internet went back and forth between the Savannah Rolling 60s and Chicago's O Block. And it got to the point where King Von would even threaten to put hands on Quando Rondo. Little did he know the Savannah Rolling 60s are not people you want to mess with. And here is where the internet erupted. You know, because I guess if you're from Chicago, then you have to be dangerous. And at the same time, everyone was downplaying the country boys of East Georgia. That takes us to November 6, 2020. At this time, King Von, Lil Durk, and the whole OTF are living in Atlanta. And on the night of November 6th, they get word of Quando Rondo being at a local club. Most of the OTF guys leave it alone, but King Von is all about his business. So he gets up in the middle of the night and heads down to the location. He waits for Quando Rondo to leave the club. So Quando walks to the parking lot, and right there is King Von. Back. King Von completely manhandles him like a child. Quando's right-hand man Lil Tim notices what's happening and sprints over to help. And he decides to take it to a whole nother level. Bam. This incident truly showed one thing to the world. It's not about where you're from, it's about how you come. Whoever has the upper hand in any situation will most likely win. So you can play all the games about which city is the hardest, but in all honesty, none of that matters. King Von was feared because of everything he did in Chicago, but in Georgia, none of that matters. They do not care about your city, plain and simple. So for anyone who tries to build their credibility in their city, just know that it's an illusion and it only matters in your city. Once you leave or the people in your city leave, you're left with zero accomplishments and no one cares about your tough guy past. Well, after this, the internet trolls have been telling Durk to slide for Von. But let's be honest, all of that is unrealistic given his status. But that being said, you need to stop acting tough in your songs if your actions don't back it up. Because at that point, you're spreading a false image to the youth that you're not willing to pay the consequences for. Well, since then, Quando Rondo has actually been targeted multiple times. Thankfully, he's been fine each time. The only thing that's weird to me is that he's been dating a high schooler. Like, bro, what are you doing? You're rich. Regardless, he's been making a comeback in music, dropping hit songs like 6-0 Business. On the other hand, Lil Tim is on house arrest while fighting off his charges. Some say he was justified, but others say that he was wrong for what he did. But what do you guys think? Let me know in the comments. But to finish up the video, I have to include this wild story about Savannah. So if you remember from earlier in the video, there was a man named Willie Levette. Well, for decades, he was the police chief of Savannah. He was known for his harsh stances against crime and wanting to clean up the streets. All of that is commendable, but his reputation would take a major blow in 2014. After a federal investigation, it came out that he received $70,000 in bribes to turn his back on some activities going on. So after all, he received 7 years in prison. But here's the thing, while he was in prison, he received a $130,000 a year pension. Yes, while he was in there, he was paid $910,000 of tax money. And to this day, he still gets paid. How this is possible, I don't know, but Savannah, Georgia is a wild place.